13 WREX, your weather authority. This is 13 News at 10.
This incident highlights a whole host of issues.
Not peaceful. Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara says Friday's hostage situation did not end peacefully. His message to survivors in our community.
An obvious example of how a system is broken.
And a violent past. We dig deeper into the suspect's past, including multiple run-ins with police for domestic and sexual violence.
We're very appreciative, as always.
And stepping up, businesses near the standoff played a big role Friday in keeping law enforcement and those involved safe. Their message to the community tonight. Well, 72 hours after a hostage situation shuts down East State Street in Rockford, the suspect, Nicholas August, is in court. Good evening. I'm James Stratton. Kristen has the night off. August faces multiple charges after that standoff that lasted nearly 7 hours. It started around 2:30 Friday afternoon when police say August went into the Heritage Credit Union with a pellet gun. Police say he ordered everyone to get out but kept one woman inside hostage. They say he held her for nearly 7 hours and sexually assaulted her while police were outside. It ended shortly before 9 p.m. right here, with both of them coming out of the west side of that credit union through a door there. City leaders have a message for the survivor of this situation and all survivors of sexual and domestic violence.
That you have a community who is becoming more and more aware, who is understanding the dynamics of domestic and sexual violence, and who is standing with you. We believe you, you're not alone, and we are working every day to adjust the problems in the system, to address them, and to make this system better for them and more responsive.
The suspect, Nicholas August, appeared in a Winnebago County courtroom this afternoon for the first time. He's officially charged with aggravated criminal sexual assault, armed robbery, and aggravated unlawful restraint. He faces domestic battery charges after he allegedly strangled a woman in December in a different incident. He appeared alongside a public defender, but asked the judge if he could represent himself. The judge said there would need to be a fitness exam, and they would revisit that later in the court process. His past is plagued with a long rap sheet and many violent incidents. 13 News reporter Mary Sugden sifted through those court documents. She joins us with what she learned about his criminal history. Mary.
James, less than 3 weeks before Friday's standoff, August was charged with aggravated domestic battery. Court documents say he allegedly strangled, then hit a woman he was in a relationship with. That victim alleges that August punched, kicked, and choked her on multiple occasions, forcing her to wear makeup and patches to cover up her bruises. She also says August installed an app on her phone that tracked her and allowed him to see who she was calling and texting. She also says August pointed a knife to her throat, put a BB gun to her head, and on one occasion told her this was her last night to live. Backing up to 2016, a different woman filed for an order of protection, alleging similar conduct. She says he constantly called and made threats to kill her and her family. The victim also states he installed a GPS tracking app on her phone. Now, in 2016, he was charged with domestic battery after allegedly strangling a girlfriend. In 2014, another domestic battery charge came after he allegedly punched a girlfriend's 15-year-old son. And finally, in 2011, he was found guilty of child endangerment and resisting a peace officer when he refused to return a child to its mother and fought with the police officer with the child still in his arms. Now, this is just a small snippet of what August has faced in the past, and this is just looking at Winnebago County. As we've reported earlier, he was released from the Boone County Jail in November, and overall, we found he's been charged with 6 felonies, a dozen misdemeanors, and had several orders of protections filed against him. James, back to you.
And August is being held on a more than $2 million bond. Prosecutors asked if he is able to post bond that conditions be in place. He would be under curfew if he posts bond, be ordered to have no contact with Heritage Credit Union or the 2 victims in the case. August is scheduled to be back in court on January 29th. And city leaders say Friday's incident shows the system is broken when it comes to responding to domestic and sexual violence.
We have to take a bold, comprehensive look at the entire system. There's only so much that a court system, that a law enforcement system can do by the time we have a violent offender in our midst.
Jennifer Caciopaglia says also she thinks that most of the problem with having habitual criminals among us is systemic. She adds that it starts in early childhood in recognizing and not recognizing the need to interrupt trauma of young people. If people see violence at an early age, they're more likely to respond that way as an adult. And since the events on Friday, many people have reached out to us with more questions. And plenty of people online are voicing their support for the victim in this case. One of them is Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara.
My heart, just as a citizen, goes to her, and I sincerely hope that she receives the services she needs as she begins a very, very long and difficult journey.
The Mayor's Office on Domestic Violence and Human Trafficking Prevention says the entire cycle of violence is failing survivors. Ketchapalia says the cycle of violence starts with kids who experience trauma.
I think it's important to point out that this is not just a failure of a justice system. We have opportunities at every turn to interrupt trauma of young, angry boys. And we as a society, we as a community are failing at those.
If you are experiencing domestic violence, you can get help. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, that number on your screen, 1-800-797-3224, or you can call Rockford's Remedies Renewing Lives, that number also on your screen, 815-962-0817. And during that standoff, local businesses along State Street lended a helping hand.
We didn't know exactly what was going on, but we knew that something was going on, and we were right in the middle of it.
Dos Reales and Anderson Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Rockford were two of the many businesses along East State that helped out. Dos Reales gave food and a safe place for first responders and the family of the woman held hostage. Anderson helped police direct traffic near Phelps Avenue and East State Street. They say in the moment they knew it was the best way to help their neighbors in need.
I think you do it because you feel is the best thing to do and you like to do it.
Both businesses say it was a team effort to make sure all first responders and those in need were safe and fed in such a time of stress. And Rockford police say they are thankful for the help from the community. The department posted this on its Facebook page this afternoon, thanking the restaurants and businesses for helping them out and giving them food and warmth. The post says in part, quote, "We appreciate and felt the entire community's support."
It's a tough Friday night for some of the businesses because it affected a busy night for them, but a lot of people really stepped up, the community really helped out, and we're very appreciative as always.
Chief O'Shea says Red Lobster and the mobile gas station also helped out law enforcement during that nearly 7-hour standoff.